Thank you very much. Welcome back, everybody. What a fantastic, great half. Let's have a round of applause to all our great speakers. But it's not over yet. We're going to now move into the second half, which will have some table topics, and then we'll do some speech evaluations. I'd like to welcome back our Toastmaster of the evening, Mr. Anthony Sani.
Thank you, Matt. We all know why we do table topics. For our guests is to sharpen our impromptu speaking skills. And to herd us through this process, help me welcome our very own Shelley Musfelt.
Thank you, Anthony. Short and sweet, just like me. Short and sweet. Oh, who's laughing? I'm taking note here. Taking note here. The reason my girlfriend Gerda and I decided to start an advanced club is we wanted the opportunity to do things that you normally couldn't do in your home clubs. You can't do 45-minute speeches. You can't do someone doing a speech 4 meetings in a row because they're competing at the international level. Those opportunities are only given at an advanced club. And even table topics is a chance and opportunity to do something new, exciting, out of the box. And that's what we're going to try today. For our speakers who are going to be chosen for the event, there is no evaluation of how you do. And the audience, I just encourage you, however these participants do, is your job is to give them a huge round of applause when they're finished. All right, and Mr. Timer, I'm going to give you some specific items. So we're looking for the mini speech, an opening, a body, and a conclusion. And we want to make it fun. So I always like to pick people from the back of the room because they just want to come up. And my first person I'm going to pick is a Toastmaster already. That's all I know about him. This table topics, Mr. Timer, is going to be 1 minute. 1 minute only. So we're going to see the lights at a green, yellow, and red. At the red, wrap it up, this 1 minute speaker. Your topic, the 1 minute speaker, is travel. That's your topic. All right, so I'm going to choose the man at the back with the, right there, who's trying to not look at me at all. Give him a round of applause. Yes! You can't hide from me. Oh, yes! And what's your name?
Kevin.
Kevin?
Yes.
Kevin, travel, Kevin.
Travel. So in this 1 minute speech, I'm going to break it down for you the places that I love to travel. Why? I'm going to wrap it up. So let me start with the first one. I love to travel to a faraway place called Banff. Raise your hand if you've been to Banff. See, everyone's been to Banff. It's a fun place. There's mountains to see, mountains to climb, and mountains to go up a scary little elevator that's attached to the rope. The second place that I like to go to is the Philippines. That's where I'm from. That's why my skin's so damn dark. And that's a place where my family is from. I love this place from the Philippines where the coconuts are hard, the pineapples are juicy, and the water is nice and blue. Why do I like to go to the Philippines? I haven't been there in a really long time. It's a place that I miss, a place that I long for, a place that I haven't been through in a long time. But I love it because it's my home where my family lives, and I'd love to go back to.
That you volunteered came right up here. of our 1 minute table topics. So, Mr. Timer, thank you for that 1 minute. I'm encouraging you. See that red light? Wrap it up. Just to let you know, Kevin, you're not quite done. Because in an advanced club, you can always give your speakers a second chance. And you'll be given another chance later in this round to come back up here because I think you could do a little better job with travel. I think you're going to come back up here and you're going to punch it up and you're just going to perform even better than you did the first time. So just start thinking about that as we go through. Our second speaker, again, 1 minute table topics, and the topic is hot drinks. Hot drinks is the topic, and I'm going to actually ask someone who came up to me and said, I want to do this. So I'm going to ask Evan to come up, and he's going to be talking about hot drinks.
Hot drinks, I don't know. I'm thinking coffee, you know. I'm sure all you guys enjoy a nice morning coffee in the morning, right?
With Baileys.
With Baileys, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't drink, so I don't have Baileys in it. But me, I like adding 3 cream, 3 sugar. That's my ideal of a typical hot coffee. And I don't know, maybe hot drinks for some of you guys that drink alcoholic beverages. Spicy tomato, those Clamato drinks, right? Those are always good. I'm sure you guys all enjoy those. And I don't know. It's for a speech, right? So, but trying to do as good as I can here, guys. But yeah, chocolate. Okay, let's just break it down. Some hot chocolate. It's always good, right? Yeah, some marshmallows in that. That's always a tasty beverage. And
you tried the mulled wine out there?
The which?
Mulled wine right out there.
I don't drink.
It's not alcoholic, is it?
Oh, it's not alcoholic.
Just like a cider.
Apple cider.
Apple cider. Oh yeah, I tried that too. Yeah, that's not really my taste of a hot beverage. I mean, it's just sweet stuff, really. Coffee, cream, but yeah, that's that's my.
Evan, for your first time ever coming up here, it's great just to have you give it a go. And the audience, thank you for helping them out, saying, try this, try that. That's the essence, isn't it, of the Toastmasters community. We help you out. And always you get a great round of applause at the end. I'm going to get now to the regular type of a table topics. Mr. Timer, it'll be 2 minutes. The topic will be, what do you like about the movies? What do you like about the movies? And I'm going to, we chose 2 people from this side of the room. Should we choose from this side again? Yeah. Probably, because everybody's shaking their head no, but no! We have to come from this side of the room. All right, I'm going to go into the audience like Monty Hall or oh, I have somebody pointing to this lady. Please come on up. What's your name?
Lana.
Lana. We'll have Lana. What do you like about the movies? What you like about the movies? Please welcome Lana.
What do I like about the movies? 3 things. Popcorn, the drama, and people watching. Before and after. I'm in fitness, and actually popcorn is on one of those foods that you do not eat. It's considered a high allergic reaction food. But when I go to the movies, I love my popcorn. And I'm talking a large popcorn with butter halfway through and on the top. Because if I'm going to cheat, I'm gonna cheat. Who loves popcorn? I love popcorn. That was my food in university. I was in university for 9 years. So that was one of my meals in university for supper. So I love popcorn. But 20 years later, when I graduated, 2001, however many years ago I graduated, I realized that popcorn isn't a great food. It's a treat. It's not a supper food anymore, but it's a great treat. I love drama. I love drama movies the best. Maybe, I don't know why I love drama so much. I love, even when I hear stories, I love crying at the movies and just really getting into the story. So that's really important for me to have the drama. And then I also like to see, the last thing I like about the movies is the people that are there. Right? A lot of times I find it's the younger generation, like the 18 to 22-year-olds, and quite often they're actually kind of annoying. I hope there's nobody in that age group here, because they're like texting, and quite often I've had to excuse me, you're annoying me with your phone. I've actually shouted that a couple of times. So there's those, and then there's the people that are maybe on dates and having an exciting maybe first date, second date, or whatever it is. Or maybe it's people that are a little bit older, and it's just nice to get out once in a while. But sometimes those seats, I don't know, the older I get, I like the aisle seat so that I can have my legs sticking out the side so that it's a little bit more comfortable. So the popcorn, awesome. The drama, amazing. And then just the people that I see and watch. Again, it's a great day at the movies.
Sure, she was all smiles up here, but you should have seen that look to her friends. Who pointed at me? Who is that pointing at me? All right. Kevin, you quite ready? Yeah, I'm going to give you one more and then you come back up. Who would like to come up? Who is Toastmaster? Oh, who is... Okay, we have a more experienced Toastmaster, so come on up, experienced Toastmaster. I'm not telling you what this is. You'll have to guess when we're finished. Okay, this is your topic. Okay? But you have to use lots of these. So lots of this, and this.
What?
Okay. Okay? You got it?
No, I don't got it.
No, wait. Okay, okay, please welcome Marvin Henry. Marvin Henry.
Kelly, you should know by now, I do not follow rules and do not read very well. When they gave me this, I will probably give it to Nadine to read. Anyways, I love talking in Toastmasters. This is 5 foods. Now, 5 foods to me is to all the different foods I love to eat. First of all, when you eat food, I love to share it with Nadine. I love sharing things with Nadine because that's how I was brought up. There's no point having in this life money, fame, if you can't share with somebody. So my goal in my life was to share with somebody I love, and I did that. There's no point being rich unless you have something to share with. If you've got something to share with, you're rich. That's what my philosophy. So I've been rich all my life. Broke, but rich. Because I have something to share with. So sometimes we go to 5 foods. We love our popcorn, of course, at the movies. We share at the movies. Popcorn. We loved our Italian food, pasta. Pasta is nice to eat because it's soft and easy to eat. I like the meat. She likes the pasta. It's kind of a mix to there. Yeah. I love the vegetables. I was brought up by a dietitian. Eat your vegetables. I always ate it last, but I always knew it was good for me. So now I eat a lot of vegetables too, and fruit and vegetables. But I gotta love that meat. The steaks, the chickens, I don't have a lot of meat, but I do like the beefs and the fish. We have a lot of fish now. Fish and French fries. Yeah. Is that okay? I don't know the second thing you said to me, Kelly. Sweet and sour, smells and toast tasty. I have beautiful eyelashes too. I guess I just throw that in there. I've been told that I have beautiful eyelashes. A few times. I'd only drop my pants one person. Nadini. Never had a V. Never had a V.
To summarize, Marvin's table topics attempt, he was to talk about his favorite foods, which I think he did. My challenge to him, which I think he sort of met, was to try to use words that entice the senses, right? What you see, what you smell, what you taste, how you hear food. So I think he did that. He loves meat and loves the vegetables and gives lots of food to Nandini, so that was wonderful. All right. The last table topics for 1 minute is going to be give a rounding applause for Kevin! Welcome, Kevin. Kevin, travel, Kevin.
Just when I thought I was done, back up here. Travel. I love, like I said earlier, I love traveling to Banff and the Philippines. So I want to tell you about the places I don't want to travel to. One place that I don't want to travel to again would be prison. Just along with my friend Evan here at the back, we've had some interesting lives times in our lives. And one place that I don't want to travel to is a place where you go in handcuffs and you go in shackles and you eat nasty food. Yeah, prison's not a nice place. It's a place where you can make some cool friends. And maybe some friends that you don't really want to see later on in your life. Yeah, this is the part where I just make things up till the minute's up. There you go. Thank you.
All right. So let's just quickly recap. We had two table topics with travel, and I can guarantee any time you ask a Toastmaster to come up, give them a little bit of feedback and have them come up again, they're going to do, if nothing else, they'll just have more confidence coming up the second time to do it. We had somebody who had never been a Toastmasters before come up here. Evan, congratulations, came up, hot drinks, you talked with the crowd, it was just wonderful, and that's what the Toastmasters program is all about. We learn, we try, we encourage, and we're a group together as a community. The positive thing about the movies, yes, I love the popcorn, and I loved all your enthusiasm, and the 3 points, boy, you had it right down, that was just great. And then we had the food with the senses with Marvin, and his talk about food and senses. Table topics can be a learning experience, it can be fun, and it can be challenging. That's what an advanced club can do for Toastmasters. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Shelley, for that super interactive table topic session. We will now move into the evaluation portion of this meeting where we get to learn from the evaluations that are provided to our speakers from the first half. Our first evaluator is going to be evaluating Rosdantu's speech, The Big V. His name is Marshall Ennis, and he is a big, strong man in skill, voice, and heart. Help me welcome Marshall Ennis.
Terry, to set precedent, 90 seconds. Okay? Rosdantu, brother, how are you? The Big V. As everybody here, awesome question to start. Everybody's wondering what the big V was. Russ, I just want to share with you, directly from the manual, your body speaks. The message should be the same seen as heard. Okay, that was the big thing they were looking for. Russ, you shared with me before that you had done this speech in the past and believed that you know the subject. That was your story. One of those stories that we probably don't forget as men. Absolutely, 100%. But what I want to share with you, Rush, as a MVP member and somebody who's spoken a lot before, I didn't get that feeling. And that's honestly what I was looking for today, Russ. Obviously, it's there. The story is there. Everything was there. But what I'd be looking for is for those to match. What a great opportunity for speak to match body. I really felt that, Russ. Usually, Russ, when I've heard you speak in the past for a number of years, you could take me to that doctor's office, the home, the feeling of uncomfortableness right here. I can see the doctor, I can see the expression, I can see the face, your face, the room. I didn't get that from you tonight, my friend. Usually you work this stage so area that you take us in. Didn't take us in tonight. Okay, so that's the one thing I felt. That'll come, the story is there. The other thing was with manners. Russ, a couple times tonight, for some reason, thinking went to the mouth. Okay, and covered up your mouth. So took away from us tonight. So thinking, just be open with your gestures. You usually are. Exaggeration, exaggeration, exaggeration. What a great opportunity speech tonight for you to really exaggerate these moves, both your facial expressions, which were well done tonight, but could certainly exaggerate more, especially in such a big room with so many people. I don't feel maybe all that carried to the back. So just be careful with those. Great speech. Would love to hear it again because obviously we didn't hear it years ago when it was polished and on top. But have more fun with it, Russ, because it is one of those. Really could have played the men and the women tonight, or even the men that have had it done, haven't had it done. Is this what's next for you? I have 5 kids, Russ. It's not my fault she finds me so attractive. I'm not getting it done.
Thank you, Marshall, for that very efficient evaluation. Our next evaluator needs no introduction because he's had one already. Jeb Richard.
Ladies and gentlemen, and particularly you, Aparna, fantastic speech. I loved it. Did everybody notice the way Aparna started that speech? She said, "You have beautiful eyes." Now, we didn't know it at the time that Aparna was talking about what someone had said to her. When she first said that line, we thought she was addressing us. And that's a great way to instantly engage the audience. I don't know about the rest of you, but the minute somebody gives me a compliment, I'm all ears. Please, go on. I thought the organization of your speech was really good. I thought that the ideas were logical, and I thought your message was powerful and it was clear. The body of your speech flowed really smoothly. And it was supported by personal stories. And personal stories really help your audience connect with your message. So that was well done. And I loved how the conclusion just went right back to the introduction again. I find the best conclusions do that. They wrap it all up and go right back to where we started. With, I will never forget the day someone told me I had beautiful eyes. So some suggestions for growth I think I have. And it's pretty hard to find some in a speaker as proficient as you. But I think I see some things that might be missed opportunities even. So first of all, I thought your pacing was a bit fast, but I think that's nothing more than a natural consequence of maybe the anxiety that goes along with not speaking in quite a while, and it's been quite a while for you, so that's totally understandable. I think there were some missed opportunities here, and you could have been a little bit more theatrical maybe, and let me just give 2 examples of how I think that would have added impact to the speech. So there's one point in time where you started doing some dialogue, and you said, "You know, those shoes look great on you." But your vocal quality didn't change at all. Your pacing didn't change at all. I would have liked to have seen a transition vocally between Aparna the narrator and Aparna the character. I think that would have added to the presentation. And I also think some of your gestures some of them were grandiose. When you use your whole arm, and I liked that. But there were some you used that were just these little kind of things, and I would have liked to have seen more grand gestures, a little more theater there. And also, you could have kind of almost done some more action when you're talking, when you're treading on the treadmill, right? You could have actually been doing this a little bit. But I know it's been a while since you've given a speech, and you did so many things well here. You had fantastic use of humor. The speech was well organized, and I loved your message. It was really powerful. So, again, I know it's been a while since you've shared some stories with people, but I hope we've rekindled whatever fire burned inside you that initially gave you the passion to share your stories with others. And Aparna, I really hope that we're fortunate enough to hear more speeches from you, because you're a great speaker and you have beautiful stories.
Thank you, Jeb. Our next evaluator is a man who, I was going to make fun of him, to be honest, about his British accent, because they say when you speak with a British accent, your IQ points jump up 10, whatever. But in his case, he actually has the IQ and the heart to back it up. Help me welcome Matthew Fox.
Anthony, if that were true, I'd be half the man you are. Kelly, I loved your speech. I think we all loved your speech. I'm going to evaluate you today using the prospector method, where you struck gold, some nuggets, and where you can do a little more panning. I thought you struck gold with your passion. Your passion was absolutely evident in your speech, and that's what connected us to you. It sucked us in. You told your story with passion. Your own personal message was passion, and the whole theme of that story had passion inside it. And I love the way people connect with life force and passion in what they do, so that was really fantastic. You know, you raised your tone, your pitch, your pace, which all emphasized that passion that you had. One of the nuggets that you had was connection to the theme of today, and how you used the name of our club, MVP. You gave us examples as you went through, and that was excellent as well, just to be current and in the moment. Where you could pan a little bit, you're very confident, and that was clear to us. But when you said, I felt intimidated, you said it, but I didn't really feel it. I wanted to feel that vulnerability. There was a couple of speeches today where we really saw people vulnerable, and I think you could take that just to the next level with that vulnerability. Your humour, another nugget. Your humour was fantastic, was spot on. There's just a couple there, the abyss of hell, I think you had us all rolling there. And when you said we're all going to pull a flow Japanese, that was fantastic, and everybody was killing themselves. So that was excellent. Another opportunity for panning, eye contact. It's a huge crowd here, and we always talk about eye contact, and I felt you were scanning the crowd a lot and not necessarily holding enough people in that eye contact. And so no matter how the size, really stick on a couple of people and glue in on that eye contact. Going back to gold, a speech so ordinary but so relevant, something that we all come up with where we get stuck and we don't know what to talk about, and that's what you talked about, which was great. In summary, Kelly, a wonderful speech, so relevant, so in the moment, so passionate, and you really sucked us in. But give us a little bit of that vulnerability as you do your next speech, and I think it will make it all much better. It's a Toastmaster.
See? He does back it up. Our next evaluator is VPPR extraordinaire. She's got a gift of the gab and a gift of the pen and a gift of organization. Help me welcome Susan Kramer.
My evaluation is going to depart a little bit from the earlier evaluations. I'm not speaking just about a general speech. Joanne actually had a very specific purpose tonight. She was speaking out of the Humorously Speaking Manual, speech number 3, Make Them Laugh. So with that in mind, Joanne, I'm going to talk about a few things that they wanted me to zero in on here. First of all, I loved how you used cold feet as bookends in your speech. You told us the story at the beginning about being cold, needing to warm your feet up on your husband. That one really struck home with me because I do that all the time and I get in trouble all the time too, but I do it all the time, so I totally understand it. And I loved at the end how you used the St. Bernard to replace your husband because they'll probably be about the same size. So I thought that was really brilliant. The piece of advice that I have for you around those particular stories, when you talked about putting your feet on your husband, you actually added a little bit of to get warm to explain to us why. I don't think that was necessary. I think we all got it. I was asked to look to see if the pieces of humor that you used in the middle of the speech supported the rest of the speech. And I tell you, when you took that downturn and you guys were off to the hospital, I thought, oh my gosh, how is she going to work some humor into this piece? But a miracle happened, and you did, and it was brilliant. So pieces where you had the humor, you talked about your husband snoring like a bullfrog, how he had to kiss you on the top of the head because he's so much taller than you, how you never carried anything through your entire married life except for your children. And then at the end, when he came full circle and asked you for the second time about what you were going to speak about with the next contest, I just thought that was absolutely brilliant. A piece of advice that I have for you, probably the most majorist piece I have for this entire speech, because I thought it was brilliant, is your title. You used cold as ice, cold as ice. If you're in a competition situation, the title is actually repeated twice. So she would end up with cold as ice, cold as ice, cold as ice, cold as ice. And it would be very awkward for her introducer. So in future, I couldn't see any reason to have the duplication for any form of duplicity within the speech. So just one cold as ice is absolutely perfect. And in conclusion, a good speech is like a roller coaster. It crawls slowly to the top of a rise, takes a deep plunge, and then brings you back up to a high. And I really believe you did that today, Joanne, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Susan, for that very organized and concise evaluation. Our next evaluator is Dave Burns. Dave Burns is going to be evaluating Christina's speech. Welcome, Dave Burns.
Didn't realise before this evaluation I was evaluating a district level evaluation champion, so that's good to know. A little bit of context. The speech that Christina is doing as she goes through the DTM cycle once again is the last CC speech, which is inspire your audience. She only had two main objectives in this one, and it was to obviously inspire the audience and use stories to do so. So I'll touch on that. I'm also going to try and use the Peruvian evaluation. I'm going to talk about moments of brilliance and maybe where we can dig some more brilliance out of the speech. So what I enjoyed to start off with, we'll talk about the stories that Christina used. So she had 3 stories. They were varied, but they were everyday people that we could obviously relate to, and she was very natural being able to take herself back. And you also would have noticed in the way that she used her non-verbals and her verbals by asking people, come with me, come over to this story this time. So it's a great device to use to really be using the stage in a really specific manner. Second piece I'll touch on is a couple of pieces of brilliance that we can perhaps pull out of that. Another learning piece that I really enjoyed, speaking about that use of stage, Christina came over here, she told us to come over here, and she realised she was in the wrong spot. So you can get flustered, you can worry about the mistake. She was going over there. She owned the mistake, told us she made the mistake, came over here and did what she wanted to do. And I think that's a great lesson for everyone. The other piece that we could probably build upon is right at the end, in that close, you talked about these everyday heroes, these everyday champions. And right at the end you said, if you think about it, you may be one too. I'd like to see you even build upon that and maybe ask a question like, who can you be a champion to in your life? Who can you think about, or think about a time that you have been? Just could have taken that one step further. Finally, was she able to inspire us? What I really liked about this speech, it's an inspirational speech. Christina didn't go over the top. She wasn't trying to get us all on our feet, charging out the door to go volunteer or something like that. It was pretty subtle. She talked about champions like Gretzky, Ali, Rostantu, and then she talked about these everyday champions. And what she was doing there was allowing us to see that we can be like these champions. And it was an easy ask. Her goal at the end was to inspire the audience to go and do something, or to go to a higher level. Well, it was a really easy ask. It was just be a champion, to support people, to stand up for someone, those kinds of examples. So I felt that was done really well. So to wrap up, I thought you inspired the audience. You had great stories, so you knocked out all the criteria you needed to tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, David, for that inspirational evaluation. Our next evaluator has been many things. She has been on the district stage as an international competitor. She has been Area Director. This evening, though, she got bumped up to a verb in the English language. Flo Sherpanese.
Mr. Timekeeper, what was the time for Jocelyn's speech?
Jocelyn's speech was, I believe, about 6 minutes, 30 seconds.
Thank you. Jocelyn, congratulations on a fantastic speech, as always. The framework that I'll use to evaluate you is to share with you what I liked about your speech, one area for consideration for future improvement, and finally to wrap up what I found absolutely outstanding about your speech. First, what I liked about your speech. The mechanics of your presence and your presentation was spot on. In particular, I especially appreciated your vocal variety, which is the manual project that you wanted me to evaluate. Your CC, I think it's your second CC, project number 6, vocal variety. When you depicted Don Pepe, when you talked about the Latin lover, and even when you said, huh? It really drew me in, and your vocal inflections were done very well. One area that I would suggest for consideration for future improvement is your message. The primary message that I heard was, look for moments of brilliance in others. And that really resonated with me. But at the end of your speech, you talked about look for moments of brilliance in ourselves. So it switched from kind of look for it in others, and then now it look for it in ourselves. And it was at the end of your speech, so it was less developed, and it seemed like an add-on, like an afterthought. And it detracted, I thought it detracted from your main message, which is to look for brilliance in others. And that brings me to the final point of what I found absolutely outstanding. I think that approach of looking for brilliance in others, I think what we look for, we find. If we want to find injustice in the world and life is unfair, we'll find it. But if we look for excellence, if we look for inspiration and brilliance, we will find it. In sum, I'd like to share with you one of my favorite quotes modified. It's a quote by the poet Jack Gilbert. And modified by me, it goes like this. We must have the stubbornness to see the brilliance in others in the ruthless furnace of this world. Thank you for sharing your unbridled passion in your speech tonight. Congratulations.
I ask again, are you inspired? Yes. Are you inspired, Toastmasters? Are you entertained? Yes. Are you not entertained? You got that right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. We're drawing to a close, but before we leave, I want to invite our very, very astute grammarian to give us a report on our collegial meeting this evening. Let us sit down in. Brent Orkelson.
All these wonderful people spend the whole night inspiring you, and then they finish up with me. And my job is to actually, as the grammarian, is to observe the whole use of the English language tonight. And there were some things I found particularly interesting, some things that were a little disconcerting to me. Now, before I talk about anybody else, we talked about finding moments of brilliance. Well, we also have to admit our moments of not so brilliantness. There is a grammatical error in that. Collegial is an adjective that describes a working environment where responsibility and authority is shared equally by colleagues. It should be are shared because there's two things. Happens when you write things at the last minute. And that's the sort of things that the grammarian needs to pick up on, because if we are speaking about something important, sometimes it is little things that can throw a message off, can kill a connection. And that's a big part of what we're trying to do with an audience, is to connect. And one of the things that was a little disconnection, when Russ said, "Milk that puppy." To quote Jocelyn, I brilliantly said, "Huh?" Russ, I've milked cows, I've owned puppies. I've never milked a puppy. Thank you. I won't do too many of those to you. Aparna, your speech was very interesting, and you said the seas began to bloom again. Well, I really stopped and went, gardens bloom, seas rise. I brilliantly said, huh? Kelly used two words we don't often hear in Canada, funk, which is sort of like a mental paralysis through fear or whatever makes us procrastinate. I'm very familiar with that, rating things at the last minute. And the abyss of hell. There's a phrase to conjure upon. Karen Harty, in your introduction to Joanne Smith, and Joanne's speech was about marriage, and you said the 20-year hump? I brilliantly said, huh? I'm going to milk that one. Like a Peruvian cow. Okay. Anthony, introducer to introduce. They are presenters as well as introducers. One of my favorite things is the alter ego to Webster's dictionary, which is the thesaurus that's built into it. Mark made use of an effective. This is something that we're told to avoid at all costs. It is a cliche. And a cliche is actually a phrase that's become very common, and we hear it a lot, and people will tell you that when they hear it, they just kind of go, what? But occasionally we can use them well. And the reason they became cliches is because they echoed and they made a point. And it gave somebody a very easy phrase to describe something very quickly, and everybody gets it. The one Mark used was herding cats. I love that. If you ever work at a print shop, there's a lot of cats. He also he said something that is particularly profound, and we kind of exchanged a little something earlier this week on this subject, which went to Christina's speech, and that is servant leadership. And Bob Dylan wrote a song about servant leadership. Everybody's got to serve somebody. Martin Luther King did a brilliant sermon called the Drum Major Sermon. I suggest you read it if you're interested in servant leadership. The biggest line from that was, everybody can be great because everybody has the opportunity to serve. Christina's closing line, you probably already are. Closing with a question. Because she asked us a question, and then she answered that question. I'm at 2 minutes, so I gotta hurry up. And Jocelyn opened her speech with a question that was interesting because it said, when was the last time you had an epiphany? Now, a lot of people don't know what an epiphany is. So by asking that question, she immediately gets them to go, what is an epiphany? And by immediately giving them the definition, she has now given the experience of listening and receiving and getting an experience as part of her opening. Marshall, to set a precedent, and I've already broken it, sorry. I'm going to get through this real fast. Jeb ended his evaluation with, you have beautiful stories, thereby calling back to the speech he was evaluating, and Flo did the same thing by thanking us for the unbridled passion in Jocelyn's speech. That's...
Thank you, Ben, for that thorough grammarian report. I should be giving the closing remarks at this point, but who better, especially because our time is past, to give the closing remarks than the person whose vision it was to bring us all here in the first place. Help me welcome Mark Copley.
Well, I've spent a lifetime in sales, and they say in sales, bring in a closer. Does anyone remember Billy Graham? Are we all old enough to remember the Billy Graham Crusades? And at the end of the crusade, he would say, "Come on down."
You're the next contestant on the
What I want in a moment here is those who have read their materials tonight about how to join MVP, Advanced Toastmasters Club. If you are inclined to join us tonight, I'd like you to come on down right now. But first, I want to say with pride, we've received an honor. So my fellow MVP members, look at this. And what this is recognition of the highest membership retention this year of 89.7%. I don't know what happened to that 0.3 of a person, but I think they moved back to Newfoundland. That was Leonard, yes. But anyway, we did really well, but we want to do more weller. And this year, we started in July with 21 members. We're currently at 28. 3 of them are out of the country, and one's working in Edmonton, and the rest were all here. And those that didn't present tonight were very few, and they did work. I want to thank especially all of the volunteers who helped tonight, which were those who provided food, all our members, thank you. Big applause to our food wrangler. Please stand up and be recognized. And she had some part-time help from Grigori, but I think he ate more than he cleaned. At the close of the meeting, when we're all done, what's going to happen in the next couple of minutes, if any of you wish to join our club or learn more about it, I'm going to be right up here at the front, and I'd be delighted to receive your application or your questions, and I'll stay around as long as you're all here and want to talk to me, because we really are shameless. We want to get you to join our club. I now wish to introduce 2 people. I'd like them to come forward. Alexander Jameson, please come up, our division director. And Teresa Merrifield. Teresa, please come up. Teresa is our past president and one of our stalwart members. And they're going to talk to you now.
Who likes a surprise? Well, for most of you in this room, this isn't a surprise, but it's a great time to acknowledge someone who's done sterling work during the last year. The great thing about Toastmasters, you can win awards. The club members, the presidents, the VP, all your executive members can nominate people. So you can win awards, end of year awards. And being Division A director, I had the pleasure a few months back of awarding the end of year awards to the winners from Division A. And MVP won all of the awards.
Out of how many clubs, Alexander?
Pardon?
Out of how many clubs?
About 24 clubs.
Show off.
So we had.
But who's counting?
We had Anthony winning the Toastmaster of the Year award, Jocelyn, the rookie, Susan Kramer, VP of PR, and this lady here, Teresa, won the President of the Year. And then we progressed to the next level at the district. So at the District 42 conference, did they have a clean sweep? Not quite. I think there was some injustice, I believe. I believe that they incorrectly awarded the winner for the VP of PR because I believe Susan Kramer should have won that award. However, 3 of the members from this club did win. Anthony was there to receive the Toastmaster of the Year for the district. And Jocelyn was there, you were present, for the Rookie of the Year. So that leaves one other person who wasn't there. This person has done a great work for her club because every club needs a good captain, someone to steer the ship. Otherwise, that ship could be going off in different directions. And they really have, this person has done amazing work so that the club is thriving up to 28, and at the same time we had a clean sweep at division and nearly a clean sweep at the district. So I'd like everyone to stand and recognize the District 42 President of the Year, Teresa Merrifield.
Teresa always likes to have the last word, so she will tonight.
Are you done? Alexander asked if any of us like surprises, and I do have to say that this was a complete surprise, because if anybody had let any word drop, I'd have been in Medicine Hat to collect it myself. These awards are never the result of one person's effort, ever. This President of the Year is a result of a collective effort of 6 other executive members who were incredible to lead. By incredible, I won't say incredibly easy, because each one of them is a strong leader in their own right. So were they incredibly malleable? Not necessarily. But each one was an incredible leader in their own right and could have done my job just as easily as they made it for me. The other part of the equation is to have an incredible group of individuals that are all paddling the darn canoe the same direction, that get the vision that I put out before them, and bunny hopped right behind me to success. I am so proud of this club and so proud of the leaders that I see using their Toastmasters skill in a transferable way to their real lives. I had an amazing group, and I had an amazing club, and it continues to be an amazing club under John's tutelage. So is my word, just so that everybody knows, grammarian. And so I'll finish by saying thank you to each and every one of you, because without you, this would not be possible. Thank you. Now we get the last word.
Well, I lied. Thank you all for coming. This has been a great event because you're here. Thank you. We're done. For those who wish to join some MVP members for a beverage, I believe Mr. Dantu's holding court at the Cattle Baron. Or somebody. Thank you.